Man, I was like, you know what? I ain't put my bliss sticks on my lips, right? So while the countdown was going down, right, I was like, wait a minute. And I looked up, I said, oh, it said 2, 3, 1. I was like,
See,
right.
and I was gonna come on here being serious, but here you go. Like we
Look, they're gonna
can't.
have to see me do this.
Child, not my audio babies. They don't gotta see nothing.
Right. Audio babies, I'm putting my bliss sticks on because my
Oh
sister's obsessed with
man.
it. So I had to get it
Listen,
right.
don't do me. Don't do me. We not fenced to do that. We on a time frame, so we don't have to start with the shenanigans. Let's get straight into the conversation.
She come over here ready for business, y'all. She playing with me. Wow. All right, so let's get to business. So our topic today is what are you sacrificing to be like them? Okay.
Oof.
So for the audio babies, I got a quote on the screen. The cost of imitation is always paid in the currency of your own authenticity.
I like that.
Unknown person, man. They should have put a name on that.
Right, for real.
Yes, yes. All right. So first question up. What part of your soul are you giving away just to wear someone else's identity like a cloak? Mm.
I'm not giving any part of my soul away at this point anymore. I used to, and I think sometimes when you are married, especially from the wife's perspective, you definitely give up a lot of your identity, because, well, I should say a lot of your soul, um, because you have to fit in someone else's identity, especially when you are married to someone who has a title. You have to fit into that box, fit into that, what that looks like, right? And that might not be who you are to your core. And that might not be who you will ever become. But because you are attached to said individual, you have to just fall into it, right? So now I can safely say that all of my soul is mine. And the only identity that I'm wearing as a cloak is my own.
Well, I can't agree. I can agree to disagree because I'm not really giving away my soul, but I am married. So to a degree, I'm giving up my soul a little bit or whatever the case may be because sometimes when you're married, you have to step into places that you don't want to step into. You have to do things that you don't want to do, but that's another whole episode right there. But yeah, my soul is to my wife. So I can't really say that I'm not, but congrats to you. Congrats. I know that feels good.
Hallelujah. Won't he do
Hallelujah.
it? Now, wait. Let's back up. Let's pivot because I don't want nobody to misinterpret what I'm saying. Divorce is not fun. However, when you feel like you are in a situation where you have to lose yourself in
Mhm.
order for someone else to be happy, that is
Yes.
not a situation for you.
Yes.
So when you do get married, you are giving up certain things that you may like or whatever. It's called compromise. But there's a difference between compromise and manipulation. So
Okay.
whenever you feel like you're in a situation where you can't even breathe without someone's okay, that is manipulation. So that means it's time for you to skedaddle because it's not meant
Bounce.
for you.
Bounce. You better tell them. You better tell them. Did we greet each other? We came up here talking about bliss
Sure
thing.
did. And I mean, listen,
Hi, Lee. How you doing?
I, tired, child. I'm tired.
Oh God.
This 39-year-old life is hitting and it's hitting hard.
Y'all, she just turned 39 and she already falling apart. Where did she get the
Child,
40?
who? I listen. I said,
Look, I
man.
I used to, how you drive behind like elderly people, right? And they be driving so slow, right? I used to be
Now
like,
I
I
follow them.
I filmed them at this girl.
I'll be
I
looking for them. I'll be like, okay, ooh, now I can slow down, child.
I be
Then
like,
I
I
can use them as
understand.
an excuse.
I understand though, because when you get the older you get, the slower you start moving.
My
And that's
body
just
hurt.
real.
I'm tired. I need to pay
Right.
attention. I gotta concentrate. My brain hurt. I gotta
Okay.
concentrate. I don't even want to turn the music on because I gotta concentrate to drive. Then I might get too excited with the lyrics and forget the break. No, I
Okay.
can't
You got
listen.
because you got to drive for yourself and them other people out there.
Right, and don't
Shit.
let you have nobody in the car distracting you either.
Oh
Child.
God. Well, I'm highly blessed and favored today, even in the storms.
Right. Thank God for Jesus and Jesus alone.
Alone. All right, y'all. So next question that's on the screen for my audio babies. What lies have you convinced yourself are sacrifices worth making just to be accepted into someone else's story? Mm.
This one, my mom used to always tell me. Now, shout out to my mom. Now, don't come for my mama in the comments. A lot of the times, the older generation, they do the best that they can, and when they tell you a certain thing, they're telling you what they perceive, but it's not always law, right? So you have to come into your own understanding of things and what fits best for your life. So my mom, growing up, she used to tell me a halfway decent man is better than no man at all. And I convinced myself of that for many years. And that caused me to make the choices that I made and the sacrifices that I had to make. But half is never good of anything. You want a whole cup of juice, you don't want a half cup of juice. So at the end of the day, um, God is a whole person. He made you whole. So you need to be with another whole individual. A half of anything is not worth having at all. You don't wait for somebody to get to a certain level. They need to be already at that level. So um, it's a form of settling. Now, if a person is striving to get there and they're in the process and they're doing what they need to do, that's something different. But to
Mhm.
accept them in a place where you know this is not what God has for you, you know this is not what you want for your life, don't do that just because you don't want to be single. Trust the process.
Okay.
So
But
that to me was one of the biggest things that I had to learn.
well, you know what? We talk about our mothers all the time, and like sis said, don't come for my mama in the comments, but because you don't want this smoke, don't come for
Okay.
our mamas. But I think that I convinced myself to believe when my children became adults, right, that I was supposed to always be on every set with them, regardless. Now there are whole adults out here that can defend them for themselves, but my mama always told me, be there for your children, always, no matter what. So I convinced myself that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. It's not. Because if I keep showing up for them the way I do, then how are they going to depend on God?
Yeah. You're
Like God
creating
has
a
to,
cushion. Yeah.
yes, God has to step in at some points in their lives. So I think that, now I'm starting to, it's hard, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. It's hard for me. It's hard because I love them kids, but I'm trying to step back and be quiet more and not react to things. And when they come to me with things, I be like, hmm, that's what happened. Oh. And they be looking at me kind of funny now because they're like,
Are they used to you coming
you're
to their
not gonna say
rescue?
nothing?
Right.
That's your
But you
life.
know
You
what
live it.
too? A lot of the times we have to be mindful, and we talked about this on a previous episode. We have to ask people how they need us to show up for them.
That
And
part.
a lot of the times when I call my mother, I'm calling her to vent. I don't really want to hear, thank you for your
Okay.
suggestion. I don't really want to hear what you got to say because I'm going to do what I want to do anyway.
Mm.
But I'm just calling you to vent. Or sometimes I'm calling you to be a cheerleader and be like, yep, he was
Mm-hmm.
wrong. Like, da,
Mm-hmm.
da, da, da. So we have to be mindful that every situation is different.
Yes.
And I require different things from you and different reactions from you and different care from you in all, in different situations. So that's definitely a subject or a conversation that should be had. Like when a person is coming to you, what do you need from me in this moment?
That's it. Like you do have to ask that because you're right. I call my mom most of the time. That could be because that's our safe space.
Absolutely.
Besides you and me,
Hmm.
besides you being my safe space, when you call your safe space, you kind of want them to kind of like, especially when you on 1,000, just listen.
Woo woo woo. Like Sinclair used to say, woo woo woo. That's all I need. I need the
That's
woo
all I
woo
need.
woo. I don't need anything else. Because if I needed something else quiet as kept, I wouldn't call you. Because we all have people for different things. If I want somebody
Yes,
to ride for me, I know who I'm gonna call. If I want
exactly.
somebody who's gonna give me level-headed advice, I'm gonna call Thomas because he's not gonna be biased. He gonna be like, "Nah, you was wrong on that. Nah, I don't think I hate it
Most
every
time I be
time.
like, yeah, he
I
right, sis.
when I text him, I'll be fear and trembling, boy, because I'll be like,
Well,
oh, he
Thomas
about to get
said, I
on
said,
me.
Thomas right. He right. What you mean? Oh, so you're just gonna agree with him and is
And if I need somebody to co-sign, I'm gonna talk to my 5-year-old because mommy is never wrong. Okay, so it's like you got to know who you want to, what you need. You got to know your key players and what they provide in those moments.
absolutely, absolutely. So if you stopped copying their path, what new journey might unfold? One that's more yours than anyone else's.
Copying their path, the journey that might unfold is just me loving who I am, and loving what is happening in the moment. A lot of the times we get caught up with our age
Mhm.
or our race, or our social status that we don't take in what's going on. Like, for example, when a woman has a child over 30, she automatically gets anxiety because society tells you after 35, your eggs are shot. The
Exactly.
probability of you having kids, woo, girl, even technically, it's called a geriatric pregnancy. And it's like, I'm not even a geriatric. I'm just in my 30s. Like, what we doing here?
What
But
we doing?
like if you take off other people's perceptions and go on your own path and just realize what's for me won't miss me. God has everything happen for a reason. And if he led me here, he's not going to leave me here, then we'll be better off. We'll have freer, mind. We'll be at peace when we get to certain things because
Hmm.
we already know the outcome.
That part. That part. I don't think that I've necessarily copied anyone's path. Well, I might have, like I said, I did try to duplicate my mom's path. And that didn't work out too well. But as far as other people, no. I tried to. I had a mentor in church. Rest in peace, Miss Gerald. She used to always tell me, "Don't let nobody else define who you are." And this has been sticking with me, y'all, since I was a kid, literally. And now it resonates with me so much more. And the older I get, the more it resonates with me. I don't let nobody define me. Period. The last time I checked, I wasn't in the Webster dictionary anyway. So you can't even look me up there. So you can't define me. So that stuck with me for a long time. And people just need to understand, don't let people define you by your past, because at the end of the day, people change. People change every single day. They just had a moment in life where they were going through some things. And that's even down to people that went to jail. People change. They go to jail, they do the time. Why are we still holding them accountable for that? They did what they were supposed to do. They did their time. Let them live their lives.
You're right about that. And when I did an episode with, I think it was um, Erin Darden. No, maybe not her, but somebody else. No, it probably was. I forgot her name, but I'll tag it in the comments. We was basically talking about cheating. No, it wasn't Erin. It was someone else. I know who it is, but I can't think of her name right now. We were talking about cheating, and the question I asked her was, "How do you know that the person is like? How do you forgive the person and
Mm-hmm.
still be with them?" And she was like, "It's all about their behavior."
Mm.
If they are showing up in a way where they are trying to change certain things, then you give them the grace to make the
Grace.
change. But when you see a person, they still doing the same thing or whatever case, but you know they're not changing. So you let them love you from afar. You love them from afar and you continue your journey. But if you see a person, okay,
Genuinely
they,
trying.
yeah, like just like with the whole jail reference, there's some of them that just really
Mm.
that's life. That's their mentality. It
That's the
is what it
mentality.
is. But then there's also people that have learned that lesson. They was like, never again. That's
Never
just like
again.
in the hood when people, they be selling certain things. Some people in the game, they doing it for survival and they have a goal, and after that goal, they out. Other people,
Mm-hmm.
that's all they know. And
Yeah.
that's what their life is about. So, you just gotta use discernment, practice discernment, and be mindful.
But this is a cruel, cruel world anyway, sis. People size you up from the moment they look at you.
Yeah.
Like you can go outside and not know, who's out there, and just walk in a room.
Hmm.
And from the moment you walk in that room, they're looking
They
you
don't
up and
like you.
down.
Yeah.
They don't like you.
Just
That you haven't even
just
opened your
because you
mouth.
right. And you could be the person that's attached to their blessing and they don't like you.
Ain't even open your mouth, and you just walked in the room and had on a pair spares. They didn't like the color of your spares, or they
The
just
color of
didn't
your what?
your Sperry's or your Jordans or the color
Oh,
of your
girl, you
hair.
know I ain't no sneakerhead.
They
I
don't
don't.
like the fact you wear glasses. They got to find some imperfection
Shit,
about
listen, I
you.
don't either. So let's talk about it. Let's sit down and have a conversation. But yeah,
Oh
it's like
man,
that, and you got to be careful because
yes,
like the old folks say, you can't judge a book by its cover.
you
You
can't.
don't know who I know, and you
You
don't
can't.
know. I might have somebody in my circle or my network of friends that might be able to bless your socks off, but because you want to sit in your judgment,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna block your blessings.
Mm-hmm. It was this story that my son told me. I actually told him. I said, record it, tell the world about it, and he did. He was telling about the story. His car broke down, and he had just finished working out at the gym.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what typical gym clothes look like. He goes and try to ask for help. He asked one person of the other, race, and they just kind of looked at him and walked on by their business. Now, what gets me is this is a church. He goes on this church property and asks this guy on the church property to help him with his car. As he was walking up, he was kind of already ignoring him, trying not to talk to him. Then the first thing he do is say, "No, I ain't got no money." What? Might be a whole deacon at this church, and you treating somebody like that. So just because he looked the way he looked at that moment, he felt like he was homeless and needed money from him. Prime
Didn't even
example.
let him get it out.
Didn't
Just
even let him
assumed.
talk. Just assume.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah.
like, "Man, I don't need no money from you. I just need some help with my car." And the crazy part about it, he still didn't help him. Somebody else came along and helped him. What we doing?
Yeah. That's the world we live in.
Child. So next question, y'all, is what dreams are you abandoning by trying to mirror someone else's life?
Now I'm in a time where I'm not abandoning anything. Like my motto for 2025 is what's for me won't miss me. So anything that's happening to me currently, there's a reason behind it, whether it's disobedience or a blessing. Either way, God's going to get the glory regardless, right? So whether it's an outcome of disobedience, there's a lesson behind it. Or whether it's a blessing in disguise, there's still a lesson behind it. So I'm writing down everything because it's going to be content some type of way. Okay.
Child. The only mirror I'm looking at is the one in front of me. I'm not trying to act like nobody else. I'm not trying to be like nobody else. I'm just trying to let y'all know who I am. Like, and it took a lot of courage for me to come out and do that. So I'm in this season of, girl, if you don't step into who you really are and let the world know, wake them up. That's where I'm at right now. If I'm a dance, I'm a dance. It might not be the best, but I used to dance, believe it or not. But now I'm old. My knees be hurting, y'all. But I can't do it like I used to. But at the same time, I'm
Me,
gonna learn some
child.
dances.
I had the Megan knees now.
I gotta make
I feel
what?
like the Tin Man and the Wizard of Oz. Like I need some oil. Let's get. I can't get up. Jesus.
I had to wake them knees up. But I'm in that season, sis, where I'm like, nah, you gonna get all of this. You gonna get all of this. You gonna get to know me today. That's the season I'm in now. So the only mirror I'm worried about is the mirror that's in front of me, making sure that I'm doing what I need to do, making sure that I treat people good, making sure that I walk the walk that I talk. That's the season I'm in right now. And if I did something to you, making sure that I apologize or at least give somebody grace because God gives us grace and mercy every single day He wakes us up. And we don't be good. We be out here, we should be getting beatings every day. He should tear our
Facts.
butts up the way we be acting. But yet he said, you know what? Go home, my servant. I'll let you back in the world to try it again. Now you get it right this time, and we still get out there and fumble.
Always.
So I almost went on a sermon. I almost had a sermon to say this. There. So if you could look in the mirror and see only your own reflection, I just talked about that, without any influence, who would you be?
exactly who I am. I would see all my scars, all my imperfections, and realize that this is who I am. This is what makes me up, and this is what is going to be um, the catalyst to helping someone else, the blueprint, And I own that every single day. I'm not perfect, but my imperfections is going to help somebody else strive to be perfect.
I mean, like I said, that mirror is looking back at me. Seriously. So without anybody influenced now I used to be influenced. I ain't gonna lie. I used to be influenced by people. I used to think about what people thought about me. I used to think about, how to move with people because I wanted friends. I wanted people to like me. But now I don't care if you like me. I mean, you either do or you don't, baby. I'm showing up as me, the only person I can show up as. And if you don't like me from the moment I walk in the room, then that's on you. That is on you. All right. So next question, y'all, is let me get right. What would happen if you started giving up on the pieces of yourself if you traded just to fit in?
I did that in my last relationship, giving up pieces of myself just to fit in. And that caused me to be emotionally drained, losing my peace, um, looking in the mirror and not recognizing myself, being isolated from friends and family and people that I love. So I wouldn't suggest anybody do that if you feel like you got to give up. Now, again, there's a difference between compromise and manipulation. Compromising, you do have to give up um, your way, but you will never have to give up yourself. There's a difference. So, like your interests. Um, I particularly, I might like rom coms. My spouse may like horror movies. Every now and then, I might have to watch a horror movie. It ain't gonna have no spirits in it. We're not doing that kind of horror movie. It might be a thriller. That's the common ground. You know what I'm saying? So it can't always be a rom com. And then it can't always be a horror movie. Maybe we might have to do some drama one day or a comedy or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the difference. You're not giving up yourself, but you are compromising for the greater good. So that's the difference.
Yeah, there's a difference. Compromise. You're gonna do a lot of that in marriage, though. Compromise and sacrificing and stuff, and doing things that you really don't want to do, or stepping out your comfort zone. But you gotta compliment each other in it. Like my wife love horror movies. I don't. I'm just keep it real.
It doesn't me either.
But I watch all of them with her. I watch all the
No,
all
I'm
the
not watching
crazy
them.
movies, like even down to
Mm-mm.
the what is that? What's the name of that movie? Oh, Ameth. It's some kind of
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
paranormal
I
movie.
I know what you're
Ooh,
talking
she
about.
loved them kind of
I
movies
can't.
too, and I
Oh,
they creep me out, yo. They creep me out, but I watch them with her. Now she don't like the love movies. I love the romance movies, the
of
comedy
course, because
movies.
you all sensitive. You be crying and
Yeah,
probably
I be
everything.
sitting there. Oh my god, that's
That's
so
so beautiful.
sweet. That's so beautiful, man. I be over here like a whole woman over here, y'all.
Not a whole woman. I'm done.
Not half, but a whole woman crying.
I'm
Like
done.
I wish somebody treat me like that. Be
See,
looking.
no, I'm not watching no horror movies. I'm not dealing with nobody's spirits. The only spirits I'll take is one. Okay, we're not doing that. I'm
Child.
not gonna do no zombies, no this, no that. No. Now we can watch a thriller. Somebody getting snatched up.
Oh, so
Something
you'll
like
watch a
that.
good snatch up.
Oh yeah, I'll watch a good snatch up. Something get you on the first 48, baby. I'm here for it. But no, them ghouls and goblins and blood and that we're not doing no
I
sacrifice. No, no,
I do it now. I ain't gonna lie, I do it. But
mm-mm,
I'm 10 years mad and 20 in. So I'm at that point
mm-mm.
where hey, I'm just going with the flow at this point.
But like Jesus, it was him. It wasn't me. I don't.
I'm
Mm-mm.
done.
Nope.
But I don't necessarily think that I give pieces. Now I give pieces of myself when it comes down to my wife, when it comes down to my children, when it comes down to people that I love, like genuinely love. I give pieces of myself. I make sacrifices. I make compromises, and sometimes going through that too, you compromise your own self in
Yeah.
in the moment. You really do. But it's not to fit in. I used to do that fit in stuff a long time ago, coming up as a child, but I've been stopped trying to fit in. I just walk in the room as myself because that's the only person I can be.
I
Period.
think it's the difference between giving up and giving out. So
Yes.
like that's like if I had a cake for my birthday, I'm giving out slices of cake because I'm willingly doing that. Giving up cake is somebody probably taking it from me or asking, and I
Hmm.
really don't want to, but I'm kind of settling to give it to you. So I think it's a difference.
Not selling to give it to him. And then you
I
use cake.
guess I wasn't
Jesus.
expecting this many people. I thought I was gonna have some cake left, but
Right.
okay.
All right. You can have a piece.
I guess.
Crazy. Man, this is not the favorite time of the show for me, y'all. This is the last question, y'all.
Pew 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 pew.
Listen, we trying to keep ourselves on a schedule here because we can go for hours talking.
Hours. Listen,
So
this
we
is
gotta.
us on the phone all day. Let me tell you, my 5-year-old, he, because when you on the phone, you can see the amount of time you've been on the phone. He like, dang, mommy, you and Auntie Nikki talk a lot. That's a lot of numbers.
I'm gonna get him.
He said, that's a
Wow.
lot of numbers.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. You wait, I talk to him again. It was like, oh, that's a lot of numbers.
Oh,
Oh man, but
God.
believe it or not, y'all, I'm one of the few that she talked to on the phone.
Yeah, because I don't like to talk on the phone. Baby, I'll text you in a minute. Because I be sleep. I ain't got time to be sitting on I got to sit on the phone and actually stay awake and then pay attention to the conversation. At least with a text message, I could just reiterate and remember what was going on. But to have a phone conversation, you got to be real present. And you got to pay attention. You got to
Look,
concentrate.
y'all, I done went to sleep a couple times on it, y'all.
Let me tell you something. It's one thing when a person is
Ooh.
snoring on the phone and they go to sleep. She'll go dead silence. Like she could be talking and then I'll respond to the question. You gotta respond quick because if you go Pentecostal, she gone. You ain't gonna hear nothing. And I'll be like, Nikki, you don't hear nothing. You don't hear no breathing. You don't hear
Ooh,
nothing. I was like, she done went to sleep. Then she gonna hit
yo.
me up hours later talking about something. Did I fall asleep on you?
Y'all, I be gone, boy. I get that feet to the heater, boy. I got warm. And next, I was like, nah, no, I was talking to Riri. What's I talking? What? She hung up on me. What happened?
Yeah, I hung up on her. I sure
Dang.
did
Didn't
because
you
you
know I was
fell
asleep?
asleep. Child.
That's how you know I need some rest for real. Cause I don't be going to sleep on nobody on the phone now. I can't everybody can't get that part of me. Going to sleep? No, I don't do that with everybody. I
Mm.
said, dang, I done did it twice.
I did it again.
I did it again. I told Sean, I said, can you not fell asleep on Riri twice? She said, fell asleep. You don't be doing that. I said, girl, I hope I wasn't snoring. So now it's confirmation I wasn't snoring, y'all. Thank you.
Nah, it be quiet. It be you be gone. Like it be quiet. Like, is she alive?
Woo.
Is she breathing? I can't see. What's going on?
She must have went Pentecostal on me, y'all. I'm done, man. I'm done. All right, y'all. So last question. We always play it, man. If you stop chasing their version of success, what would you have left to build your own?
I think other people's version of success is monetary, but the real success is the things that money can't buy. The fact that you can wake up every morning and you are surrounded in a house full of love. The fact that you have the limbs, activities of your limbs, as the old people say, activities of your limbs, your senses. The fact that you were able to see another morning and to witness another evening, all in the same day. You have a peace of mind. That's what the old folks say too, and you're just able to breathe and live life. You have been granted travel and mercy to get from one place to another. These are the things. That's what success is to me. To have children that people are proud to have in their classrooms. Um, and you don't have that child where the teacher be like, because I worked in the school, so I'm like, it's always that one kid you be like, why you ain't absent today? But to know you got one of them kids that the teacher don't feel that way about,
That
that
is
to me is an
horrible.
amazing child. It was a
No,
couple
why
of
you
them.
ain't
I was
absent
like,
today?
oh, such and such here. It's gonna be one of them days. Like, because
Mm,
you could tell in the household there's no structure.
yeah,
So when you come in school, you ain't gonna listen to nobody because you don't listen to nobody at home. Train up a
exactly.
child in the way they should go, right? So
Boom.
that to me that's the real success. And then if you're blessed enough to have an overflow of finances, then that's just a cherry on top.
You're right. But you know what? Success has many definitions. I think success depends on the individual, and success depends on the individual's journey they're on as well. So, like you said, it can be monetary. Most people they think about when they think about success, they think about money.
Mm-hmm. Rich,
Being
famous.
successful could be doing something that you always want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and now you finally found freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me. That's a success. Being
Yeah.
a
Or learning how to
podcaster,
do something
yeah,
that you've
being
always wanted.
being a
Yeah.
podcaster to me is success.
Yeah.
It might not look like success to everybody else, but to
Right.
me it does because it's something I finally stepped out of my shell to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of me. If you ain't, I'm proud of me
I know that's
because
right.
that took a lot for me to say, all right, first of all, I'm not gonna start like most podcasters because I didn't even know this that you can start on the phone. So
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
that
know.
was me. I did.
Okay,
Yeah, I did that
sis
too.
started on the phone. Shout
Yeah.
out to her, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the real trooper, y'all. She big time. She big time, y'all. She knows something I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
I was here with it, like, hey y'all. Da,
see
da,
what I'm talking about.
da.
I wish I might be like, hey, like I wouldn't know the first thing to do. What? First of all, I don't see no graphics on it.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't be able
no.
to do it.
That's why audio for me is so I don't forget where I came from.
See?
Like
And she don't.
regardless of if I'm on a platform that is, video, which I'm still not to this day comfortable with, I will still always be mindful of the audio component
Mm-hmm.
because that's where I came from. And then I myself listen to audio podcasts. I don't watch the ones on YouTube. I mean, I do now when I'm at work, but the audio is so amazing to me, to be able to hear. But then it goes hand in hand because to see the reaction of a person in real time when they're
Mm-hmm.
crying or whatever the case may be, that has an effect too. So I get why video is important, but audio forever and always.
Man, let me tell you something. Like I said, being a podcaster to me, like I said, it's a success. And everything else I ended up doing after that became a success
Bonus.
too.
Yep.
That I didn't have to make no money from none of it. It's just the fact that I stepped out on faith and said, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Period. So with that being said, y'all, this is the last question. Unfortunately, the last question. So if y'all like the episode, put in the comments. We love this. And make sure y'all listen. Run over there to the YouTube channel
Please.
and give us at least one subscriber more. We love them 10 over there though. We love them 10. They rock
They
hard for
faithful.
us.
Yeah, we got
I love them.
disciples.
But we need some more people to join the gang. So run over there and subscribe to the channel. So I hope that y'all have an amazing day and a more amazing day tomorrow. Anything else is?
As always, we're here, healing hearts and inspiring change.
See y'all next Friday.